Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, guys. My name is Yassine,
And I'm Ahmed, the eighth pick of the third round.
and I'm the captain who unfortunately accidentally picked him. And we're here to give you guys a post-draft analysis.
Draft analysis time. Yeah, I know you guys love this. I
Last
know
season's
you
was
do.
popular, so we figured we should do it again, but double it up. I'm joining Ahmed this time. So we're just going to briefly go through all 8 teams and kind of discuss some of our thoughts on each of the drafts, and then Ahmed is going to give you some prove me wrongs, like he did last season. Monim's team proved you wrong last season.
They did. I'll admit it. Proved me wrong.
Proved me
Monem
wrong.
Khan.
So, all right, let's just get right into it. So we're also going to try to timestamp the video, so if you want to skip to where your team is, we'll have the timestamps for every team. So we're going to start with the first pick and go all the way to the 8th pick. So we're starting with Farhad's team. We'll go quick through the roster. Ibrahim Jabber, Hasib Malik, Farhad, Omer, Yusuf, Ghost, Matt, and David Flores. They have the best team, the best player in the draft in Ibrahim Jabber. But besides him, I actually think that like one of the pros
I think
have
Farhad
here,
drafted well.
he drafted a really strong
Yeah.
supporting cast.
Who's
I
the
think-
second pick? Ghost, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. That's a good pick.
yeah. Ghost was his second pick. Matt Lobster was his third pick. I mean, it's a solid team. And something I told Ahmed yesterday was, obviously the team is going to live and die by Ibrahim Jabber, but this almost has the vibes of a team that could stand on their own, if he was out for a week or two.
But we're gonna be honest. This team is the team that like the heavy favorite, right?
Yeah,
If they lose, it's a
100%.
bust.
I
Would
think
you
it's
say that?
championship or
It's
bust.
a championship or bust.
Absolutely.
Even if they lose in the finals,
Losing
by
the
1
finals is a
point,
bust. Doesn't matter.
that's
It's
a bust, right? Yeah.
You can't have IJ on your team and Ghost and Matt and David Flores and you like you have a good team.
Yeah.
you
yeah,
have to
team's
win.
a good team. Yeah.
One of the cons I have here, besides Farhad being on the team, is that players need to have their own identity. I think this is really important. Guys need to be ready to fill a role and try to stand out, right? You can't just be like riding on IJ's coattail.
Just running around doing nothing while IJ does.
Yeah,
everything,
because if
it's
IJ
not
has
gonna
40 and no one else does anything, you're not winning games.
work. Yeah.
Guys need to contribute and they need to make sure that they're playing.
It's
their own
interesting
game.
to see he took Hasib. Hasib's not going to be available for any games in the playoffs.
Yeah, you think that was an intentional move?
I think so. I think it shortens the roster in the playoffs. I think you get no problems with play time or less problems with playing time in the playoffs. I think that was intentional.
What do
You
you-
get help in the regular
Yeah.
season.
What are your thoughts on the Hasib pick? Because it was very controversial. I think in terms of talent, Hasib went much lower than he probably should.
Of course, yeah. I mean, the question is, can we control Hasib's attitude? Is that something that we're going to be able to work on? I think this year is going to be a good year for him. I think
Yeah.
he's going to come out. He's got a chip on his shoulder to prove, and that's like one of the easiest things to fix, right? You just come in and have a good attitude.
Yeah.
You don't have to be better at basketball to have a good attitude. So it's one of the easier things to fix between last season and this season.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
I'm expecting career years from guys like Yusuf and Ghost. I think that playing alongside IJ, and as much as I can't stand Farhad, he's probably the captain that does the best job of putting guys
Coaching
in the right
players.
spots.
Yeah.
So you got 2 guys in IJ and Farhad who are always going to have their guys in the right spots, and I think that's going to.
I think Yusuf should have a career year. I think he's going to be left open a lot. So we'll see.
Personally, I'm leaving him open. All right, so our prediction for them is championship or bust. Right?
Yeah, I agree. I expect that they'll end with the number 1 seed.
They should be running the table.
Yep. That's. So
And
we'll go over our seeding at the very end.
Yeah.
Our prediction. For the
So
seeding.
moving on to the second pick, we got Monem Khan, and he took Kianush Mogadesi with his second pick. That's my guy Kia Mo.
It's a good pick.
The Mo and Mo connection.
Yeah, it's
right?
a good
Monem
pick.
and Mo.
That dude can shoot. Monem can shoot.
Yeah. So the obvious strength of this team is Kia. I think a lot of guys haven't seen him play. Some have. Kia is probably the most explosive scorer in the league, even in a league with IJ, because IJ's a more complete scorer and a more complete player, but the way Kia can score is really
Unreasonable
unique.
almost.
He can give you
Yeah.
12 points in a minute. If you let him get a couple shots off, I think he's going to go for 40 at least once this season. That's my prediction. But one of the cons is you're relying on Kia.
If he's having a bad shooting day, it's going to be a rough day.
It's
for
going to be
this
rough
team. Yeah.
because one of his major
I mean,
contributions.
I'm looking to see the other scorers. You're talking Dion. I've never seen Dion play.
So Dion was a great pick by Monem in my opinion. Besides AN, if AN cleans up his turnover issue, which we'll talk about when we get to him, AN's the best point guard in the league. But I think Dion gives him a run for his money. Dion is solid, great ball handler, smart passer, even keeled, always right down the middle, attitude wise. I think he was a great pick. Perfect guy to go with Kia.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because Kia doesn't like running the ball up the court.
I think looking at this roster as well, defense could be a question. Dion's not the best defender. Kia's not the best defender. And when you look top to bottom, their best defender is probably Jacob Geist.
Ugh.
And Jacob Geist is a good defender, but they're going to have to find defense through smart system play.
How's Ismail at defense?
He's good. He's solid.
All right. Guess we'll see.
Yeah. I could see this team being right in the middle of the pack. Like
a 4 or 5.
4 and 5, 5 and 4.
Yeah.
You're going to have some games where Kia carries you. And if Kia misses a week or two, or Kia's just off a couple days, I could see them losing.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I probably in seeding they might end up around 4. We'll see at the end. We'll talk about the seeding.
So now we're moving on to Osman Shah. This is a team that has a lot of unknowns.
Unpredictable picks.
Yeah. So he was the 3rd overall pick. He took Tajon Roberts. I've heard various different opinions on him. But the overarching theme is he's a solid hooper who is sometimes inconsistent. That seems to be
that's what I've heard.
So, and then he also has Abdul Hamid, who I also don't really know.
Don't know who that is.
When you look at
this team,
last
year I made some predictions based on people I don't know, so I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume from now on anyone I don't know is Abdul Wadud level until proven otherwise.
So, I haven't heard my post. Tajon could be a star. Another thing is I think this team has high chemistry. Tajon is Yassine's cousin, and I know both of them are close to Osman, so they have a connection already.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is
Salman Khan with the second round pick.
Let me preface this. Salman is my guy. I love Salman.
Beautiful player.
Yeah, tremendous player. When you look at your second overall pick, you're looking for two things in my opinion. You're either looking for a secondary scorer who's going to take a large offensive load, or a gadget guy who can do everything.
Somebody who can fill the gaps for the first round pick.
Exactly. So a guy who can rebound, pass, score, defend, can do everything on the court to a good to great level, right? So we can compare him with some of the other second round picks. So he went around the same spots as Andy, Hakeem, Maz, Cody, David Barber. So Salman,
Matt Lobsher,
it's not a dig on you. But you got some big shoes to step into.
Yeah,
this is a prove me wrong moment.
Yeah, Osman Shah is looking to.
Yeah.
He's looking for you to lead this team, and we're gonna see how that goes.
Yeah, I think that depth is going to be a problem on this team. Just looking down the lineup, I think there's a couple holes, but it really could. It's going to come down to how good is Tajon and how good is Abdul Hamid.
I think defense might be a problem.
I think they're okay. Not great.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. This is my 8th seed prediction.
I could see them being low table, 6 to 8.
This is my 8th seed prediction.
But again, a lot of unknowns here. This is one where I feel we could get proven wrong.
No, I don't.
And
prove me wrong.
We'll move on to my draft, Yassine. I picked 4th, where I took Sully, Hamad Jabber. And we'll go. Did we go through their full roster? I don't know if we did, but.
Right.
Yeah, we'll go through ours. It's Uthman, Mohammed, Naji, Sultan, Mohammed Jabber, that's Sully, myself, Ahmed, Salim, and Hakeem. So I think that our team is probably the most complete in terms of defense and rebounding. Everyone on our team can guard. Even Naji, like in the 7th round, he's probably like one of, if not the most high effort defenders, right? He's going to come in, he's going to try his absolute best.
Sultan was DPOY last year. That's a big deal. Like,
we have 2 major deterrents in Sully and Uthman. I have so much trust in Hakeem defensively and offensively. And I think we do have a really versatile offense. I think we have a lot of guys who can do a lot of different things. We have a lot of willing passers. But one of the cons I have listed here is I do wonder how we're going to perform on offense, because I think...
In terms of ball handling?
I think ball handling and overpassing could be an issue.
Yeah.
We need guys to be confident on our team.
Don't worry. I'm ready to shoot.
Yeah, it's going to start with me. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm instilling confidence in guys to take the shots when they're open and to attack the rack. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think offense is going to be the way that we win every game. It's going to start with defense and rebounding. And ball handling and outside scoring is definitely going to be the part of our game. I love the
Hakeem pick.
Yeah,
I
me too.
love the Hakeem pick. Like,
yeah.
I hate playing against him, so I'm so happy that I won't have to.
I'm glad the Twins are split up too. I told them this yesterday. I think they're both going to perform better apart than they do together. I think they're really going to shine. I think Maz is going to shine too. I was really glad that Othman was there.
Ooh, with your trade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I guess we could talk about that. Me and El traded. I moved down in the third and up in the fourth. He moved up in the third and down in the fourth.
What ended up happening was it was a trade of me and Uthman Muhammad
For AR.
for AR and Manveer.
Yeah.
So
that's the essential swap.
At the end of the season, we can decide who won that trade and who didn't.
Yeah.
I think Yassine fleeced, but I'm just gonna say it. I think Yassine fleeced.
We'll see. I mean, they got a good player in AR and Manveer. We're going to see how he does in the league. Prediction as far as our team, if I'm keeping it 100, I think we're going to be a middle, like high middle of the pack team. Like I could see us going like
Third.
6-3 or 5-4.
Third seed.
Yeah.
If
I
we
mean, I'm really
perform
confident.
well, we're looking second seed.
So we'll see where that goes. I don't want to be too overconfident. I made that mistake last season. Ayan picked right after me. He took Ian Charles with his first pick. Ayan has a solid squad. It's Ayan, Ian, Issa, Ridwan, Amr Gharib, Tyler, Maz, and Haidar.
I think there's a lot of things that depend here on Ayan's leadership, right? Because he picked Ian Charles first round. I would say Ian is an amazing player. I'm not looking for him to lead the team in terms of like being a leader that will inspire the team and that will keep the team's head up and like that's not what I'm looking at Ian for.
Yeah.
So we have to see how Ayan performs on that end. We've seen him do pretty well, like in the past. He's what, 4th year captain now, 3rd year captain.
Ayan, yeah.
Yeah, like he's done pretty well. So if he can continue to grow on that front and maybe turn the ball over a little bit less, that team looks pretty good.
Yeah, so I agree with you completely. I think that they got probably the best passer on the board in Ian Charles. He's really talented at passing. And something that I mentioned earlier, and I just want to touch back on, is Ayan has to find a way to control the turnovers. It's always been a thing where he's an all-or-nothing guy. Last season, 3 assists, 4 turnovers. The season prior, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. The season prior, 1 assist, 4 turnovers. He's got the ball a lot, so it makes sense that there's going to be turnovers. But I would really like to see him make swing passes, make hockey assists, right? It doesn't
Sometimes the simple pass is better than the flashy pass.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be a dump to the rack every time because a lot of times they'll get turned over or like a kick to the corner. You got to be smart. Sometimes just swing it, right? And I think it'll help his team a lot.
You think he's still 142 pounds?
I think I'm not going to comment on that. I think he ballooned up. No, Project Ayan, he's been in the gym. These guys have some really good players, though. Tyler is a guy I really like, solid center. I think he's going to bring a lot to the table for them. And Maz, of course, is a dog.
Yeah, I would agree, though, that I am worried about inefficiency. I don't know Ian's stats off the top of my head, but I don't remember him being particularly efficient.
No, he's been a pretty inefficient scorer. Amr Gharib is another one who plays really
Maz
great
is
defense.
pretty efficient, though.
Yeah, and then Amr sometimes struggles with efficiency. Tyler is pretty efficient. So there's a good mix in here. There's also some guys I'm not really familiar with, like Haidar and Issa, but I've heard good things about both of them, so I'm expecting that they're going to show up and play. Excuse me. I consider these guys right in the middle of the pack. I think they're another 5-4 or 4-5 team.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll make an official list at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they're looking like.
After Ayan was. Who was after Ayan? Anwar.
Oh yeah.
So let's go.
Oh
yeah. So
Anwar with the surprise pick. Okay.
the biggest surprise.
I'll
in the
tell
draft.
you, I was writing things down on the Excel sheet, and I had already had Waqas under Anwar. And then we got the text. It was actually Saad Quraishi. Me and Yusuf looked at each other. We were like, bro, there's no way. And then when it was announced, the whole room was shocked.
Yeah. I mean, I have to give credit to both Waqas and Anwar. I think what they did was really unselfish. One, I think they're like the twins. They'll play better apart. And two, I think they told me yesterday, I don't want to misquote them. I think they said this is the first time in 14 years that they're going to be playing on opposite
I did not
teams.
hear that.
Either 14 years or seasons. Either way, these guys have been playing together their entire lives. And I think it was really unselfish of them because
You think they'll guard each
it
other?
opens the league in a new way. I don't know. That would be an awesome matchup.
Yeah, I would love to watch
I'd
that
love to see
matchup.
that. Either
That'd be
way.
cool.
So I spoke to Anwar today just to kind of get his thoughts on his draft. He's super excited to play with Saad Quraishi. I think Saad Quraishi, I have it in my pros here. Saad Quraishi playing under Anwar. I think he's really going to respect Anwar because Anwar's a hooper. And I think Anwar can bring a lot to the table in terms of mentorship and teaching. And if he can get Saad Qureshi under control, because we know in the past that we've seen Saad be a little out of control on the court, take some bad shots, moving a little too fast. If he can get him to slow down, control his game, we could see Saad have one of his best seasons yet.
Second prove me wrong moment incoming. Saad Qureshi, I think, is the second worst pick in the draft, at where he got picked.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I think that was a overestimation of his abilities.
And I want to touch on the rest of the roster just to make sure that everyone's getting mentioned. They picked Mehid Ahmed, who's making his return to the league. Corner Q, Qasim Ansari. He's a rookie. We're going to see how he performs. Nabil Suleiman, another one who's returning to the league after a couple years. Wase, Andy, who was an MVP candidate last season. Of course, Anwar and Saad. And then Qasim Madhar, the and one champion.
That is true.
So I think there's a lot of questions on this team. This is a roster that doesn't have a ton of experience together, but one of the pros I have written here is championship DNA. Anwar, Andy, Wase are all championship winners. Anwar's a multiple-time championship winner.
I'm interested to see how Wase plays with this team.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting...
Wase can be a make-or-break player.
Yeah. If this guy has a good season, goes off, plays relatively efficiently, instead of shooting 13 threes per game, he shoots 5 to 7.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that'll be...
Lock in on defense, I think he could be a huge contributor. So moving on from Anwar, we go to James. One of the more interesting drafts, and we'll touch on sort of his strategy, but James had the 7th pick in the draft, and he took Idris Settles. So we'll go down the list. Cody, Justin Downs, Idris Settles, Saad Khurshid, Dawood Cornet, Mohamed Afzal, that's Saad Afzal, James, and then Smoothie.
Is there anybody over 5'10" in this roster?
That's what I want to say, is that besides Mohamed Afzal and James, everyone is under 5'10". And the most obvious, I think James probably caught the most flack of any captain yesterday, because everyone is wondering how he's going to play defense.
How's he going to get a rebound?
But let's start with the pros. They have by far the best ball handling team and the best perimeter defense team in the league.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we're better.
Possibly, but when you have Dre, Justin Downs, Cody Velez, these guys are dogs outside.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to create open opportunities for shooters, but we'll get into the cons. I also wrote that they have tough and dependable players. I like the attitudes on this team.
Yeah.
I like Cody. I think he's a dog. I think Justin Downs is a dog. Same with Idris. James is a king. I love playing with him. So I don't think they're going to have any problems.
Dawood might have been a steal where he was
100%. Yeah, I agree. Dawood was a good pick.
6th round or 5th round?
But now you have to touch on the cons. The rebounding is just going to be a total question. And last season, my team struggled a lot with rebounding. It was one of the reasons why we lost a ton of games, because second chance points killed us, and securing offensive rebounds to get extra chances was almost non-existent. And James has an even smaller team. And
I'm interested to see who's going to run the point and who's going to start.
Yeah.
I'm looking Justin Downs. I feel like he needs the ball in his hands to do stuff.
Yeah, Dawood is great off ball.
Idris is an amazing point guard. So are we going to minimize his skill set by making him play off the ball? I mean,
we're gonna have to see how they mesh.
I don't know.
And I want to just give credit to James, because I did talk to him about his draft, and his rationale was that he's drafting to win a championship.
There's one team to beat.
Exactly, he's trying to beat IJ, and when he talked me through it, I sort of started to understand where he's coming from. He said, if you can't get the ball past half court, you're not going to score against IJ, because IJ's going to pick up all the way full court, and he's going to get so many steals. And it's true. Cody passes the ball to Justin Downs, passes the ball to Idris Settles, passes the ball to him. They can all handle the ball.
Yeah.
The problem is, if you're the 6th seed or 7th seed or 5th seed or 4th seed, you might not play IJ till the championship.
And you might not get there.
You might not get there.
You're not going to get a rebound.
If you have to beat 2 teams to get there.
I'm looking at this. Mohamed Afzal and Idris are probably the best rebounders on this team. And James,
yeah.
But James isn't particularly well known for his rebounds. So, yeah, it's just going to be an interesting...
I think James is a solid rebounder. I think that he's going to have to really work hard.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a point of emphasis.
He's going to have to work very hard. And I don't doubt that he can do it. I have a lot of trust in James, but he needs to know from the jump that he needs to be out there grabbing 12 rebounds.
I love the Cody pick, though. The Cody pick, he's an awesome shooter. He's a great, ball handler, and he likes passing. That's a great pick.
I almost want to say that when I look at this roster, they might have the most talent. like their players are extremely talented. Cody, Idris,
And
James.
even if you look at the MBRs, they're all very similar.
Yeah.
Like,
But you go back to the rebounding.
yeah,
This is a team that I could see being low table. I could see them
right on top of Usman Shah.
being three
Usman
and
Shah's team
6,
is 8, and James's team is 7.
and they could prove us wrong again. That's sort of the point of this. But yeah, I could see them being low table. And I'm
Let's
looking
look at
for
L's
L.
team.
So L, of course, made that trade with me again, where he moved up in the 3rd, down in the 4th, and with his first overall pick, he took MVP Waqas Ahmed after that shocking move by Anwar.
I don't think he felt like he had a choice. I think he was in that position. He never
I
thought
was
that
sitting
Waqas
across
would
from
be
him.
there.
So he was going to take David,
Yeah.
and then Waqas was just there.
Yeah.
And he has back-to-back, so he was like... I'm
Well,
just
in
gonna take
hindsight, he should have taken David first.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, there's a rule where if you take a non-Muslim, you have to take a Muslim after it. And the purpose of the rule is just to promote dawah and to make sure that non-Muslims are getting spread evenly amongst teams so that they can get to know guys in the community. L had an easy way to avoid this rule by picking David and then picking Waqas because
And then
he's
he
back
could
to
have
back.
got, I think he was looking for Tyler or something like that in the
So
third
he
round.
picked Waqas first. I think it was sort of like a in the moment. Whoa, Waqas is
Just
there.
so
Let me take
shocked.
him. And then he took David. And then
He
third
was-
round came around. He wanted
had
a
to
non-Muslim.
take-
He had
yeah.
to take a Muslim, but he ended up with AR. So let's go through the roster: Manveer, Victor, David, AR, L, Ahmar, Omar Chowdhury, and Waqas.
It's the opposite problem of James's team.
Too much size, you think?
Yeah, they're just all like they're all gonna be packing the paint and just where's the
Yeah. So
I don't know like
So I have as a pro hustle and rebounding because David, L, AR, even Ahmar, Manveer, Waqas, like it's gonna be tough to rebound on.
And
these
Waqas
guys.
is gonna be tough from the mid range. You know that
100%.
So
Also, I actually love the pairing of Waqas, David, and L. Like that trio is so tough. If they can work out the spacing and the chemistry, like you're talking about,
L distributes the ball to Waqas. David does the dirty work of getting
you're
the
talking
rebounds.
about
Like
two of the most destructive forces in the league,
Yeah.
Waqas and David.
Yeah.
So, major key on this team. Victor Manzella has got to get a consistent shot going. I need to see
he's
him.
never
hitting,
played organized basketball.
Yeah, I need to see him hitting 2 threes a game.
Yeah, we'll see.
So that's going to be a huge X factor. Manveer has horrible hands, but great hustle. We're going to have to see, how he fares. And then, like
I think they need to trade with James's team. I think there needs to be some kind of trade there. We'll see. They might start thinking of that in the second or third, like after the second or third game. But I think that's what makes the most sense. Just looking at these two rosters.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have to give credit where it's due. This is another team where you look at it and you say this is one of the more talented teams because you look at David, you look at ARL, Waqas, like they have guys who can hoop.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that they're going to be a high middle table team, like a 6-3, probably around that number. I mean, just the pairing of David.
I just
and
don't know
Waqas.
that they'll get over the hump. I don't know that they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least in the playoffs, I don't know that they will.
Okay.
So the spacing is going to be problematic. But I mean, and AR is smart. So and
Yeah.
L is smart. So like that's two things that they're going to be able to maybe try to fix the spacing a
Yeah.
little bit.
So let's both go through our end of season standings. I'll go first. So at the first seed, I got Farhad. I think it's tough to pick anyone over Farhad, really.
Yeah, that's the first seed.
I think they're probably the first seed. Second seed, I probably got Anwar. I think if he can get Saad Quraishi under control, Anwar, Andy, Saad, like I think that's a tough trio. In third, I probably got L. L, David, Waqas, we just spoke about them. I've got our team in fourth, right in the middle. I think that's sort of where we're going to hover, depending on our offense. I think I've got AN after that at the 5th seed. And then I've got Monem at the 6th seed, right?
That's
I'm
right,
at 6, yeah. I got Monem at the 6th seed. I think Kia is the X factor, and it could really tip either way. I could
So
see
you're
them.
saying Kia's going to fold?
No, I think Kia's going to play well, but I'm looking at the rest of the team, and I'm wondering who's going to score.
My seating is so different.
And then I've got James, and then I've got Osman. That's
at least
my
we
seed.
agree on those two.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right, I got Farhad at number 1 also. I actually have Monem at number 2. I think they're going to do well in the regular season. I think the playoffs might be different. But I think they're going to do well in the regular season. So Farhad, Monem, then I got Yassine's team, my team, at number 3. I think the defense is going to be stifling. I have Ayan at number 4. I have Anwar at number 5. I have L, James, Osman.
L is
6,
low.
7, 8. Yeah, I don't know. Prove me wrong. That's all I'm going to say. Prove me wrong. L, you've done it once before.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can do it again. Prove me wrong.
L has proved me wrong too many times. All right, you want to give us 3 prove me wrongs for this season?
Yeah. 1, prove me wrong. Prove to me that Salman was actually a good pick in the second round.
Usman Shah.
Osman Shah, please prove me wrong.
Okay.
Number 2, prove me wrong. Anwar Saad Quraishi. Prove to me that was a good pick in the first round. And then finally, prove me wrong. I got 2 actually.
Okay,
There's an
good.
honorable mention.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go prove me wrong, L, your entire team. I need you guys to prove me wrong and do better than I think you're going to do. So I said you were going to be a 6th seed and then not do quite well in the playoffs. You proved me wrong before. I want to see it happen again. Last time you had Abdul Wadud. Let's see if you can do it without him. And then the honorable mention, James, this weird strategy of this is how we're going to be IJ with all guards. Prove me wrong. I don't know that's
I got
gonna
one
work.
prove me wrong. Farhad Malik. You are way too old to not have a chip.
Oh my God.
You're nearing retirement. It's about time to throw those laces over a telephone pole. It's time to win. IJ's on your team. MIP on your team. Ghost on your team. Ismail on your team. Who's on your team? Not Ismail.
Matt
Matt.
Lawson.
Sorry, Matt. It's time to win.
Yeah.
If you can't do it now,
You're never going to win. You're going to be Chris
never
Paul.
gonna win. I'm gonna have to pick you up and carry you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah, he's going to be Chris Paul.
It's time to win, Farhad.
Yeah.
Now or never. Prove me wrong.
All right. And with that, the 8th pick of the 3rd round, am signing off.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Assalamu alaikum.